Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Ivy, do you know where Mom is? Shouted Levi from the living room. She said she was going to take us to this toy store this morning, and it's almost 10 o'clock. I haven't seen her this morning, answered Ivy as she walked down the stairs. I want to go to the toy store too, so let's find her. Levi and Ivy then walked through their house trying to find their mom in the only way they knew how, shouting her name until they got an answer. Mom! Called out Levi as he and Ivy walked through the living room. Mom! Shouted Ivy as they continued through the playroom and kitchen. After they didn't get a response, they popped outside onto the deck and saw their dad raking leaves in the backyard. Dad, have you seen Mom anywhere? Asked Levi. We have got to get to the toy store. That does sound like a very important appointment that you can't miss, laughed Levi and Ivy's dad. But I'm sorry, I don't know where she is right now. The last time I saw your mom was when I got up, but she was still asleep. I did get up earlier than normal, so it wasn't strange that she was still sleeping. Then I made you guys breakfast and came out here to start on some yard work. Thanks, Dad, said Ivy. She must still be in her bedroom. Let's go. Levi and Ivy raced upstairs shouting, Mom! 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 You know, just in case she was somewhere other than her bedroom, they didn't want to miss her. Once upstairs, they called for their mom one more time before knocking on her bedroom door. Mom! Called out Levi and Ivy. Are you in there? And if you are, can we come in? That's when they heard it, a small, weak voice answering them from behind the door. Yes, you can come in, said the voice in a whisper. That doesn't sound like Mom, said Levi. Maybe it's a talking squirrel that got in her room and she's been trapped in there all morning trying to figure out how to leave without letting the squirrel into the rest of the house. Yes, Levi, that sounds exactly like what's going on behind this door, said Ivy with a sigh as she rolled her eyes. That's Mom, but she does sound different. Maybe she just woke up. I guess that makes sense too. But a talking squirrel would be way cooler, Levi said under his breath as he followed Ivy into the bedroom. Hi, Mom, exclaimed Ivy, happy to have found her mom and excited to hopefully be on her way to the toy store. Are you getting up soon? Remember you said that you'd take Levi and I to the toy store this morning? Yeah, Mom, I can't believe you're still in bed, added Levi. You're always up before us. Well, except that one day, a really long time ago when you were sick. And in that moment, Levi and Ivy knew exactly what was going on and why their mom wasn't up yet, and why her voice sounded strange. Mom, are you sick? Asked Ivy, taking a step back from the bed. I think so, said Levi and Ivy's mom quietly with a cough and a sneeze. Oh, okay, said Levi. I guess that means we'll have to wait until this afternoon to go to the toy store. That's not that bad. Just tell us when you want to leave. Levi, honey, I don't think I'm going anywhere today, said his mom as she blew her nose. I need to stay in bed. What? Called out Levi before realizing that he was being insensitive. I mean, that stinks, Mom. I was really looking forward to going to the toy store. But I'm really sad, too, that you're not feeling well. We're sorry you feel sick, Mommy, said Ivy. Can we get you anything? Yes, can you two go and get your dad? Asked Levi and Ivy's mom. He'll have to watch you both today, and I know he was planning on doing some yard work. Maybe you can help. Yay, yard work, said Levi under his breath. That's definitely as fun as going to the toy store. His mom didn't hear him because of her coughing, but Ivy did. She couldn't believe how selfish Levi was being. Levi, that's not nice at all, said Ivy. Do you think Mom wants to be sick? She loves doing stuff with us, and today she can only lie in bed and sneeze and cough and blow her nose. Being sick is no fun at all. The least we can do is be nice and try to make her comfortable. Levi knew Ivy was right, but he still couldn't shake the feeling of disappointment because he wouldn't be going to the toy store. Then he remembered that his dad loved toys too, and maybe he could take them. I mean, he did have to watch both him and Ivy that day anyway. I know, Ivy. You're right. I wasn't being very nice. Sorry you're sick, Mom, said Levi. Let's go get Dad. And without another word, Levi ran downstairs and out into the backyard. I'll go get Levi and Dad, and we'll be right back, said Ivy as she followed her brother downstairs. Dad! Dad! Called out Levi as he got his dad's attention. What's up, buddy? Did you find your mom? He asked as he kept breaking. We did. She's still in bed because she's not feeling well, said Levi. So she said you have to watch us today. And since we're supposed to be going to the toy store with her, I thought maybe you could take us instead. What do you think? She doesn't feel well, said Levi's dad as he dropped his rake. Well, this seems like a job for Detective Dr. Dad. We need to figure out why she's sick so no one else in the house gets sick too. So are we going to do that after we go to the toy store? Asked Levi. By this time, Ivy had joined him outside. Oh, no, Levi, we need to work on this case until we figure it out, answered his dad. It could take 5 minutes, or it could take all day, but we won't rest until we figure out why your mom is sick, and you and Ivy can be my helpers. Levi looked a little disappointed, but the more he thought about it, the more he liked the idea of solving a mystery. Dad, let's head back upstairs and we can all talk to Mom, said Ivy. Sounds good, said her dad. Who better to know my mom is sick than Mom? Levi followed his dad with a smile on his face, ready to do all he could to help solve this mystery, so maybe he could get to the toy store later that day. Once back up in their mom's bedroom, Levi and Ivy asked how she was feeling. Sneezy, coughy, and congested, she answered. I also feel really tired, too. Honey, I'm so sorry to hear that, answered Levi and Ivy's dad. I think the first thing we need to do is figure out how you got sick and when. But I first need to change. Why does Dad need to change? Asked Ivy as she watched her dad rush into his closet. Levi shrugged his shoulders and they waited to see what would happen next. They heard rustling of clothes, hangers, and boxes opening and closing. Then, after a few minutes, Levi and Ivy's dad emerged from the closet wearing a white doctor's coat and a Sherlock Holmes plaid detective cap. Ta-da! Levi and Ivy's dad exclaimed as he jumped back into view from the closet. What am I looking at? Coughed Levi and Ivy's mom. It's me, said Levi and Ivy's dad with his hands on his hips as he did his best superhero pose. Me who? Giggled Ivy. You look like you're wearing a Halloween costume. It's me, Detective Dr. Dad, said Levi and Ivy's dad proudly. And I'm here to figure out why Mom is sick, but I'll need your help and Levi's too. Cool costume, Dad, said Levi as he looked at his sister and tried to hold back a laugh. We're happy to help. Yeah, Dad, totally happy to help, giggled Ivy. Together, we can solve this mystery in no time, he said. Now, the first person we need to interview is the sick person in question. Mom, do you know how you got sick? Levi and Ivy's dad looked very confident, thinking there was no way that his wife didn't know what made her sick. I really don't. Achoo! No, she said with a sneeze. See, I knew it. She's sick because... Detective Dr. Dad started to say before he stopped mid-sentence. Wait, what? You don't know why you're sick? I really don't, but I know that I need a glass of orange juice, answered Levi and Ivy's mom with a sniffle. We can get that, said Detective Dr. Dad as he motioned to his kids to follow him downstairs. Once in the kitchen, he told Levi and Ivy this is where he needed their help. Since they were with their mom quite a bit during the day, he thought they may have some clues that could help him figure out why she's sick. Think back and try to remember what you did yesterday with Mom, asked Detective Dr. Dad. Levi and Ivy both closed their eyes and thought. After a few minutes of thinking, Levi remembered their day. He told his dad how they went to the playground with their mom after school and they played on the swings and monkey bars. "That's it!" exclaimed Detective Dr. Dad. "Playgrounds can be germ factories sometimes with so many kids using them throughout the day. I bet she got sick from playing on the playground equipment and then not washing her hands. Yes! Aha! I did it! I solved the mystery!" "Dad?" said Ivy, trying to stop her dad's celebration dance. "Oh, you're right. Sorry, Ivy. I meant we solved the mystery," he answered as he continued on his silly dance. "No, Dad. What I think Ivy was going to say is when we were all done playing, Mom gave us hand sanitizer and she used it too," said Levi. Levi and Ivy's dad sighed deeply as he stopped dancing and poured a glass of orange juice. "Okay, then I need you two to think a little further. What were you doing with Mom 2 days ago?" asked Detective Dr. Dad. Explain to his kids that sometimes germs can take several days to make you sick. Levi and Ivy both closed their eyes again and thought. After a few minutes of thinking, Ivy remembered her day. She told her dad that 2 days ago she was helping her mom get out some Christmas decorations. And when Ivy's mom took down some dusty boxes from a shelf in the garage, she began sneezing and coughing. "That's it!" exclaimed Detective Dr. Dad. "There must have been something in the dust that made her sick. Yes, I did it! I solved the mystery!" Sorry, we solved the mystery. "That could be it," said Ivy. "But I think we should check with Mom because I don't feel like I remember her sneezing and coughing too much after that." Levi and Ivy and their dad made their way back upstairs with a glass of orange juice and a question for the sick patient. "So, I think we figured out what made you sick," started Detective Dr. Dad as he went on to remind his wife about the dust in the garage that made her sneeze and cough. He looked so proud when he was done with his explanation, once again striking his best superhero pose and pretending his white doctor's coat was a cape. "Thank you guys for trying to figure out what made me sick, but it wasn't the dust in the garage," said Levi and Ivy's mom as she sipped her orange juice. "That dust just brought out my allergies. I took an allergy pill right after and felt totally fine." Levi and Ivy's dad's smile turned into a frown as he heard what his wife had to say. "I mean, I really thought it was that," said Detective Dr. Dad. "I guess we need to go back one more day. Levi and Ivy, do you remember what you were doing with Mom 3 days ago?" Ivy explained how it was a pretty normal day and nothing really stood out to her that could have made her mom sick. Levi said he couldn't remember that day very well at all, and he was sorry he couldn't be more of a help. That's when Levi and Ivy's mom remembered something very, very important. "I know why you can't remember that day very well, Levi." "I know why you can't remember that day very well, Levi. It's because you had a cold and stayed home from school," said Levi's mom. "Remember you woke up not feeling well and I stayed with you all day? By the time Ivy got home from school, you were feeling much better." "Oh, yeah. Thanks again, Mom," said Levi. "You never left my side that day." "And were you sneezing and coughing?" asked Detective Dr. Dad as a big smile returned to his face. Levi nodded his head. "That's it. You got Mom sick. Your germs were passed to her through your sneezes and coughs while she took care of you," exclaimed Detective Dr. Dad. "Yes, we finally got it." "You're right. That makes total sense," said Levi and Ivy's mom with a cough. Levi, Ivy, and their dad high-fived as they each took a few steps away from their mom's bed. "Sorry, Mom. We just don't want to get sick too," said Ivy. Ivy's mom pulled the covers up over her mouth and gave her kids a wink. "You guys should head out of here. I'll be fine, and I just need to rest. I know I'll be feeling much better by tomorrow," said Levi and Ivy's mom. "But maybe a little soup for lunch would help me feel better even sooner." "You got it, Mom," said Levi, "and I'll make it for you all by myself. I'm so sorry that I was the one that got you sick." "Don't worry about that at all, Levi," said his mom. "You didn't mean to get me sick. I'll always be here to help you when you're not feeling well. But next time, I'll just make sure to wash my hands more and not get so close. And we'll always be here to take care of you when you're not feeling well, Mom," said Levi with a smile. As Levi and Ivy walked into the hallway to let their mom rest, their dad followed close behind, looking very proud. I think we did a great job working together to figure out how your mom got sick, said Detective Dr. Dad. And now we know that in the future, when one of us is sick in the house, we should keep our distance and wash our hands if we're going to be around that sick person a lot. You got it, Dad, said Levi and Ivy. And because you guys did such a great job helping me out, I think the yard work can wait a bit and we can go to the toy store, said Detective Dr. Dad. Let's get your mom her soup and then we can go. That's awesome, Dad. Thank you, shouted Levi. Yeah, Dad, that's great. But do you think you can take off your costume before we go? Ivy said with a giggle as Levi joined in. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.